Hello students, I'm Ms. Pathmavathy, Assistant Professor of History, V.O.Chidambaram College. I welcome you all for today's session. From V.O.CC Academy, we are very happy to provide this video exclusively for the one who is preparing for competitive examinations. So in today's session, what is the topic we are going to see is American Revolution, which is a very essential topic in GS Paper 1 UPSC Mains. So without any delay, let's get started. The American Revolution. So American Revolution is one of the oldest political struggle that have been witnessed, and this have paved way for further independent movement in colonies across the globe. So many revolutions have occurred in the world, and American Revolution is considered as one of the essential as well as one of the oldest political struggle that have been witnessed, because on seeing the American Revolution, so many colonies have got inspired and they have started their independence movement later on. So this American Revolution started from the year 1776 till 1783 it was happening. So in this session, we'll be learning the points of what is American Revolution, what are the causes for this American Revolution, and what are all the 13 British colonies were there, how those colonies have been came under the control of British government, and at last how they have got their independence. So all these points in a gist we are going to see. So American Revolution, if you are seeing this word American Revolution, one thing is automatically comes to our mind. Of course, it is a first organized political struggle, and America, everyone was saying, but when we go back in history and see, Columbus was the first person who discovered America, that we all know, and which has been laid back in 1492. So nearly 300 years aftermath of this incident, America achieved their independence. So till this period of this 300 years, what are all the events that happened? Why America went under the colonization of Britishers? So exactly, if we could see, as per the policy of settlement in the 17th century, as per the policy of settlement passed by Queen Elizabeth, all the European nations started coming to America, and they started establishing their colonies on the 13 eastern coast of America. So not only Britain came, nations like Poland, France, Spain, all the other nations also came, and they established their colonies in North America. But what exactly happened in the 13 British colonies? Because in the beginning, Britishers were patronizing the Americans and they started to support. But later on, the US people have realized the concept of mercantilism happened, and they started to exploit the American people over there. So it led to American Revolution, and it has various causes also. One by one, what are all the causes are there, we can see here. So first cause would be the economic cause. As I have told already, the important causes were like no industries and no trade, and policy of settlement, navigation law, monopoly of Britain. So all those things happened in United States of America. What are all that policy of settlement? So policy of settlement is nothing but Queen Elizabeth has followed official policy of settlement. She was announcing a policy of settlement. As per that, all the European nations were migrating from their own land to different parts of the world. So particularly they were focusing on, the Britain people were focusing on the 13 British colonies. And then the navigation law and monopoly of Britain made Britain strong, but it started to exploit other nations, particularly in the 13 British colonies of America. And industrial policy, if we take, no bigger industries like iron industry or coal industry were allowed in America, as well as no trade was allowed in America except with Britain. So everyone was allowed to do trade, and if they want to establish any kind of industries, they are being allowed. Only with Britain they can do these stuffs. So these are all the economic causes that hit the American people very badly. And what are all the political causes? If we move on to the next cause, it is all about the rights. So what is there? Because the American people were feeling their rights have been denied, and only the Britain people were enjoying all the rights, and even the loyal American people were not given any kind of representation in the Britain Parliament. So that is considered as one of the important political cause over there. And as I have given here, 7 years war, so which is also the immediate cause for the outbreak of this revolutionary war later. So this 7 years war, even though Britain won victorious in that war, it also led the Britain to go for financial crisis. So it is expecting all the colony nations to pay the taxes. So but all the colonies of the 13 British colonies were, which is in America, they were not ready to pay any kind of taxes. So because they were thinking, why do we have to pay the taxes? But Britain Parliament, they were announcing this resolution called Gentleman's Resolution. So as per that, if they are asking for any kind of representation, they have to pay the taxes. So this is also hurting the people's mind. And the third and important thing is all about the intolerable acts like Sugar Act, the sugar duty, stamp duty, all those things. So everywhere chaos happened and people were asking for their rights, but they were denied. Everything have been denied and people were asking for representation, but that also denied. So during that time, the intellectual one of the intellectual person came, and that person is Thomas Jefferson. So he came and he was giving so many good ideas to people, and also he made one slogan, and that slogan provoked the minds of the people. So what is that slogan? If you could see, that is written over here: no taxation without representation. So if the people are asking for representation, right, so they are also not ready to pay any kind of taxes. So this is the slogan raised by Thomas Jefferson, and it provoked the people's mind, and they started to spread the slogan everywhere: no taxation without representation. So they boycotted all the government offices and all. So then comes the Intolerable Acts passed by the Britain Parliament, like Stamp Act, Sugar Act, and many acts, which is on if any business transaction have to be done, they have to pay taxes. If any molasses and all the in all the sugar productions, they have to pay taxes. On the tea production, they have to pay taxes. All those things hit the people hard, and it affected in the colonies boycotted British goods, and as a result of it, at a certain point of time, the Britishers also repealing that, and again they were passing some other acts. So this was also happening in history, and it is considered as the political cause. And what is the next cause? If you could see the social causes, we can say it as social causes, because the society have been classified. It is not a single set of the people who belong to a certain nationalism, not a one set of group were there in America. Various kinds of people were the people who started moving from England were also there, France were there. So different nationalists were living in a particular area. And also, so this population we can call it as a diversified population. So that population is a mix of rebels were there, refugees were there, and also if you could see, offenders were also there. So it is not the common people who live in America, it is a kind of mixed population. So diversified population, and the people were detached, they have no attachment towards their land. And also at certain point of time, they started to think only Britain people were given importance and their rights have been denied. So there is a kind of a dissatisfaction also acquired in the minds of American colonies. So at that dissatisfaction, people were seeking for the people, and the society was in a chaos, and there was so much of confusion happening. So when the society doesn't know what is the path, on which pathway we have to go, and that time the intellectuals appear in society. Yes, of course. So here also during that time, 3 French philosophers also, and their thoughts also was started spreading that time. So those French philosophers we know very well, Rousseau, Voltaire, and Montesquieu. Apart from them, there are people like Thomas Paine and also Benjamin Franklin. So Thomas Paine was saying he was publishing so many pamphlets. Okay, so the common sense pamphlets were issued by Thomas Paine. And Benjamin Franklin, he was establishing so many philosophical societies in the name of Sons of Liberty, Daughters of Liberty, so which started spreading all over United States of America. So this is the role of intellectuals. So they started to liberate the minds of people, they started to enlighten the people's mind. And a certain point of time, the people also started learning the concepts of property rights, democratic setup, and federalism, liberty, equality, all those things. It's slowly and gradually it started to emerge in the people's mind, and they were asking for freedom. So these are all the key factors, we can say, which provoked the American Revolution. One is the taxation, and people started, in return, people were asking for representation. So then comes an important incident called Boston Tea Party or Boston Massacre. That means in order to show their resentment, people started to throw the tea, whatever it is being stocked up in the ships of Britain, it has been thrown on the sea of Boston Harbor. So with this incident is a important event that led to the American War of Independence, which happened on the year 1773. So this is actually an anti-British protest, we can say. And of course in that we could see a group of 60 American colonies, they were throwing 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor. So in order to show their anger, in order to show their resentment against the Britain, because of denying all their rights and everything, so which resulted in the American War of Independence later. So this American War of Independence started in 1776 and it ended with the treaty, as we all know, Treaty of Paris, right? So there is a constant war happened between Britain as well as the 13 British colonies, which is given over here. You can see Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, New York, New Hampshire. So all those people, they united together to fight against the policy of Britain. So it resulted in the 13 colonies emerged victorious against Britain, and at certain point of time, like July 4, 1776, they declared independence. So with that, during that time, the war of time, there is an army called Continental Army, which was led by the person George Washington. So he was a very important person, and also he was the one who was guiding the people on which pathway to choose. So at a certain point of time in Philadelphia, as I have said, July 4, 1776, they declared independence. So and they were putting an end to the regime which was already there. So later on, they were establishing constitution as well. The 13 colonies ratified this constitution. And one important thing we have to note down, that is by signing the Treaty of Paris in 1783, British people were officially recognizing the independence of colonies. That means here the new nation was born, that is the United States of America was born over here. So aftermath of it, what are all the things happened? 1787 they have drafted the constitution, and in Philadelphia, of course, in 1789 George Washington became the first president of America. That is a very, very important event happened in history. And as we all know, American Constitution is one of the written constitution. So many ideas like federal, democratic, republic structure, all those things started coming up after seeing American Constitution only. So with that, so many new ideas arised in the history of United States, and the people were having the question, what might be the political structure, how we are going to lead by the people's later. So all those questions were there in the people's mind, but at the same time they are ready to enjoy the freedom. At last they have got what they were asked for. So with this, the story of how the colonies how the colonies turned into liberty, so it is coming to an end. Thank you.